Welcome, my friend. Before we begin today's journey, I want to ask you something. Have you ever felt like your mind just won't stop? Like every thought, your regrets, your doubts, your fears, keeps circling inside your head, weighing you down? If you've ever struggled with overthinking, then this story is for you. It's not just a tale. It's a mirror of the life we all live at some point. Today, let me take you to a small village, hidden between misty mountains and winding rivers, where a young man named Arun discovered a timeless secret that changed his life forever. There once was a small village nestled between misty mountains and winding rivers, a place where the world seemed to move at a gentler pace. In this village lived a young man named Arun, whose mind was always full of worries, doubts, regrets, and dreams yet unfulfilled. He carried every thought like a stone in his pocket, weighed down by the burdens of what could have been and what might yet come. Arun was a diligent worker, always striving to please his family and community. Yet no matter how much he achieved, he felt restless, never satisfied, never at peace. Each night as he lay in bed, his mind would race with questions. Was he doing enough? Was he on the right path? What if he failed? Or worse, disappointed those he loved? One day, while tending to his chores, Arun overheard the villagers talking about an old sage who had taken residence in a nearby cave. The sage, they said, possessed wisdom that could change lives. Desperate for answers, Arun decided to seek the sage's counsel. It was a long trek up the mountain, and as Arun climbed, his mind was abuzz with all the things he wanted to ask. What should he do with his life? How could he find success? How could he stop feeling so overwhelmed? When he finally reached the cave, the sage was sitting silently, eyes closed, as if listening to the wind itself. Arun hesitated, unsure how to begin. The sage opened his eyes and smiled gently. "You have come with many questions," he said, his voice calm and steady. Arun nodded, feeling the weight of his thoughts pressing down on him. The sage invited Arun to sit beside him. "Before you ask your questions," the sage said, "I want you to do something for me. Empty your mind. Let go of your thoughts, if only for a moment." Arun frowned. "How can I empty my mind? My thoughts are always there, swirling around like leaves in a storm." The sage nodded. "That is the way of most people, but imagine your mind as a cup already full of water. If I pour tea into your cup, what will happen?" "It will overflow," Arun replied. "Exactly," the sage said. "If your mind is already full, there is no room for new understanding, no space for peace or clarity. Before you can receive answers, you must create space for them." Arun closed his eyes and tried to push away his thoughts, but they clung to him, insistent and loud. Frustrated, he opened his eyes. "It's impossible," he said. "I can't just stop thinking." The sage smiled. "Let us try another way. Instead of pushing your thoughts away, simply watch them. Observe each thought as it arises, and let it drift by like clouds across the sky. Do not hold on to any one thought, let them come and go." Arun tried again. He noticed a worry about his future and let it pass. Then a memory of a childhood mistake. He watched it, then let it float away. Slowly, the noise in his mind began to soften. For the first time, he experienced a hint of stillness, a small space between thoughts. The sage spoke softly. "The mind, when emptied, becomes a vessel of infinite possibility. When you cling to your worries, your regrets, your ambitions, you fill your mind with things that weigh you down. But when you create space, when you empty your mind, you become open to new ideas, new perspectives, and the calm that comes from within." Arun sat in silence, feeling lighter than he had in years. The sage continued. "Most people believe that success or happiness comes from doing more, thinking more, achieving more. But sometimes, the greatest wisdom comes from letting go. When you empty your mind, you allow life to reveal itself to you. You become present. You listen, not just with your ears, but with your heart." Arun realized that he had spent years filling his mind with worries about what others expected of him, with fears of failure, with endless lists of tasks. He had been so busy thinking about life that he had forgotten to truly live it. The sage stood and gestured toward the valley below. "Look at the river. It flows effortlessly, carving its path around obstacles, never resisting, always moving forward. The river does not cling to the rocks it passes, nor does it worry about what lies ahead. It is empty of resistance, and so it is strong. Arun watched the river, understanding dawning in his heart. He saw that his constant thinking had been a kind of resistance, a way of holding himself back from the flow of life. The sage concluded, "When you empty your mind, you become like the river, adaptable, resilient, and free. You find clarity in the silence, strength in the stillness. You realize that you are not your thoughts, but the awareness behind them." Arun thanked the sage, feeling a new sense of peace settle over him. As he made his way down the mountain, he practiced watching his thoughts, letting them come and go without attachment. He noticed the beauty around him, the song of birds, the scent of wildflowers, the warmth of the sun on his face. For the first time in a long while, he felt truly alive, unburdened by the weight of his own mind. In the days and weeks that followed, Arun's life began to change. He approached his work with greater focus and ease, no longer distracted by endless worries. He listened more deeply to the people around him, and his relationships grew stronger. Challenges still arose, but he met them with calm and clarity. When doubts crept in, he remembered the sage's words, "Empty your mind and let life flow through you." Arun discovered that the power to change his life had always been within him, hidden beneath layers of noise and clutter. By emptying his mind, he made space for wisdom, creativity, and peace. He learned that true strength was not in holding on, but in letting go. And so, whenever life feels heavy with thoughts and worries, remember Arun's journey. Pause, breathe, and empty your mind. In stillness, you will find clarity, peace, and the freedom to truly live. If this story touched your heart, I invite you to join me here, where we share more timeless lessons and life-changing stories. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next story that could change the way you see life. Thank you for listening, and until next time, stay present, stay free.